Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good evening, good afternoon to every human being on earth. My name is Kiseka David Tababula. I've come to explain, to give an interpretation about this piece, work of art, and the meaning, the great meaning that lies behind the work itself. In this name, or in this work of art, as you can see, everything is derived from the Holy Quran. These are surahs, ayahs of the Holy Quran, which are wrought on the canvas in oil colors. The work of art in the interpretation about this piece of art is that on many occasions I've been sending a message to humanity about the Holy Quran and its authenticity, the origins of the Holy Quran and how it spreads around the globe, east to west, north to south, as a blanket of clouds. The Holy Quran is an eternal living book. It's eternal and living. It's not like a book which are held by men. Books which are written by men have no life. They have no motion of life. But the Holy Quran is eternal and living, and has emotion and has emotion of eternal living. It's eternal and living. As so, that's why what you see on the as clouds, all you people, what you understand as clouds on the horizon, those are eternal living words of the holy eternal living Quran. The clouds that are assembled in columns or lines, those are holy living words of Allah, or those are the words that are found in the Holy Quran. The eternal living Quran spreads east to west, north to south, and over us in the canopy as a blanket of clouds that gives life to everything that lives on earth. For so many years, humanity or human beings did not know what the Quran is. Even some of you right now do not know what the Quran is, because that was Allah kept it that way for a long time for mankind, that its time has come for you to understand what the Quran is. The Holy Quran, as I said to you in the beginning, is eternal and living, is an eternal living authority, is an eternal and living. As proof, if you have a Quran, a text book of the Quran which is written in Arabic, you can open any surah, any surah of the Quran, and look at the linings, how the lines of the textual words of Arabic are written in the lines of the Quran. And when you look at that and compare it with the clouds, the lines and the columns of clouds in the sky, you will see that the columns of clouds on the horizon and in the sky on the horizon are assembled in lines, straight lines, and some of them are broken. Sometimes they're broken. Sometimes there is a single cloud. But being a single cloud doesn't mean that it's not. It's also a letter, a single letter of the name of the words of Allah. The words of Allah are very, very eternal, very, very, very eternal, very holy. So a single letter of the words of Allah can cover and a radius of up to 100 miles of 100 miles of kilometers in terms of radius or space. So that is how holy this holy book of Allah is. These words of the eternal living words of Allah, how holy they are. They are very, very holy. They are very most scared. They are very eternal and they are living. The words of Allah, that He who created us, He Allah who created us, His words are eternal and living. From the day He commanded the book, His book, to be a living substance to humanity and everything that lives on earth, it has been so, and it will continue to be so until such a time that He says, as He decrees in the Quran, that one time He will come and judge humanity to what they've been up to. And for me, my message to humanity, which was given to me, is to interpret, to show you human beings what the Quran is. You must stop the foolishness of living in denial. Whoever denies the authority of the living Holy Quran, the living eternal Quran, that such a person denies herself or himself an opportunity to life, because a human body is a collection and a combination and a fusion of atoms. And as you already know, atoms live in space, but Allah, according to the decrees of Allah, He commanded those atoms to become an egg, and an egg developed into what becomes a human being. So to that authority, and that authority, if you look at, if I take you back to the assembling of the egg and this and that, so all these work out as commands that are under the mechanisms and the principles of the Holy Quran and the eternal living mechanisms that makes up what a human being is. A human being is conceived from an egg and a sperm, but that egg has to commands that it has to follow before it forms into a zygote, or before it becomes starts the journey to become a human being. So the process of being an egg is a command from Allah. And it's Allah who commands the atoms, the tiniest minute atoms, which are not, we know them as atoms. Allah commands them, and they become what a drop of water, what we call an egg. And that egg, from that egg, Allah commands it again, and it gains shape and all sorts of, until you become an older person, up to 90 years, or 100 years, or 120 years. So it's only Allah, it's only the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, who can command, who has the power to command an egg to become a living being that can even produce its own offsprings. No human being can do that. No any other being can do that, apart from He who created them. He who, the most holy, glorified Almighty Allah, is the only one who can do that. And to explain to you more about this work, is that in the background on the work of art, you can see that the words in Arabic are in straight lines from they start from right to left in straight lines. But those straight lines are what you look when you look at the horizon. When you look at the horizon on in the house, when you are outside in your house and you look out on the horizon, what you see as clouds, those are letters, characters of the Arabic alphabet. The language in which these clouds are are displayed on the horizon is an angelic language, but very, very similar to Arabic. Very, very, very similar to Arabic. So that is a holy language of angels. The angels use that language, and it's the language from which Allah gathers the clouds, His words, and releases them as water, so that it comes on earth as water for human beings to quench their thirst, and also it's that water that makes the plants grow, and animals also feed from the water, and so many other things that are known to men and that which are not known to men. So the reality, the truth about the Holy Quran is that what you see on the horizons as clouds, those are eternal living words of Allah. They are eternal living words of the Holy Quran, the words of Allah that gives life to humanity. That's what I can interpret or tell you about this name. Allah gave me the ability to be able to write it in a form that is conducive for mankind to look at, a visual interpretation for mankind to look at and understand what really the Quran is. The Quran is an eternal living power, authority, eternal living glorified words of Allah that gives life to earth. The Quran is a living, eternal book. Allah has books like men. He taught you. You have books, but your books, they have still life. They don't have eternal living life. They don't have eternal living life. But the books of Allah are eternal and living. That's all I can tell you about this name, about this work of art. And I pray that Allah grants you an ability to understand what I'm showing you as human beings. Many of you choose the Quran or don't understand the Quran, but it's very simple. Very simple, unless you want to live in a state of condemnation to yourselves, then you can keep yourself that way. But if you want to free yourself from the dogma of foolishness, look at this work of art and understand that indeed is the Quran is a guidance, it's a manual to humanity. The reason why it was lowered or was given to Muhammad, the messenger, the reason was why the Quran was given to Muhammad, the messenger, as a guidance to humanity. For it's Allah who created us. He knows our flaws. He knows what we can do and what we cannot do. He knows our bodies from every inch and every angle. He knows each and everything within ourselves. So he sent a guidance, a book, which is called the Holy Quran. In that book, there are divine laws, divine rules, divine quotients to enable human beings to live in harmony with each other, to enable human beings to live in harmony with other creations, like the animals we share this land with, this earth with, and other beings which are there in creation. This Holy Quran permits the guidance, the message in the Holy Quran allows, teaches men and women how to live in a society without harming each other, without harming the environment, without harming our children, without harming our parents, even our fellow human beings, because again, it's through this Holy Quran that Allah, as I said, He created us, He knows us, He sees us as one being, and all of us who lives on earth are counted as Muslims, whether you like it or not. Every human being is a Muslim. From conception is conceived as a Muslim. But when we reach the world, when we reach the earth, then that's when we drift and become things that are worthless and useless. Even some of our people end up killing their fellow human beings, which is really against any natural law, any natural order, to torture, to torment, to use sadistic influences to harm others is indeed a curse that everyone who commits such a crime against humanity, one day when they depart from this world, definitely they will have to answer for what they did in the world against the creations of Allah. That's me. I've explained to you. And I beg Allah that He allows you people to understand the meanings of, of the Quran. I repeat it once more, that the clouds that appears on the horizon, those are eternal living words of Allah. Those are eternal living words which are found in the Quran. Some of them are ayahs in the Quran. We call them ayahs, surahs, and great attributes of Allah that Allah folds and holds and sends to earth as water to quench the thirst of men and women. As you can see, as I said to you, that the characters that make up for the Arabic alphabet, are basically each single letter is constituted of what a single letter of the Book of Allah is very, very powerful, very, very strong, and very eternal. Very, very eternal. As I said, it can cover a radius of an area up to 100 to more than 100 kilometers, one single cloud. So, for that reason, that makes this holy book, the Holy Quran, a very holy book and a very eternal living book. Assalamu alaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.